Solid friendship. That's the secret. Doris?
Friends, being special friends, helping each other. There's several things, but what he did say is the number one. Then being best friends, being caring for each other, loving each other, putting up with each other. Sometimes, don't get your feelings hurt so much, at the first time. If you're just newlyweds or going to get married or something like that, just you'll see what each other's peeves are and a lot of things. But I think loving each other, being best friends. I think being best friends.
So, what's a best friend? A best friend in a romantic situation is when you meet someone where you have a mutual attraction. You start there. Then, of course, you're going to look for character. You want somebody that has strong character, honest, loyal, trustworthy, all of these things. They're strong characters. And then you want to build that relationship on valuing and appreciating each other's virtues. And the example I'm going to use is my beautiful spouse here. When I met her, she was very warm, friendly, loving, affectionate. Well, as a young man, that was very important to me. And I guess, well, no matter what age you is, that's important. So I valued that. She was a great playmate. Wherever we wanted to go, she was game for it. We'd go to the beach, we'd go to the mountains, we'd go to the desert, whatever. She was okay with it. Never complained. Never complained. So she was a great playmate. To me, that was very important. So I valued that virtue in her. And so the whole relationship was built on valuing and appreciating each other's virtues. Now, fortunately, we did not have sex before we got married, so I didn't cloud, the relationship we're building. It was we were focused on building this relationship, even though we didn't know it at the time. We were still doing it. Now that I've learned all these things, I realize, yeah, those are very important, but we were doing them without thinking. So building a solid foundation, you build a solid foundation first before you get involved in a romantic relationship. You can become soulmates. There's no soulmate out there. That's a myth. But you can become soulmates. So that's my input as far as one of the most important things in longevity of marriage is to maintain that friendship. Sex, it's just, especially in the churches, a pure culture, pure dating, pure. I'm not saying don't be pure. That's not it. But you need to learn about sex. Sex is very important. God designed sex. Nothing wrong with sex. You know, it's a very important aspect of marriage. You know, so it's just not taught. And you know what happens? These young women and men. The young woman gets married. She doesn't know what to expect, and all of a sudden, she's had all this pure dating, and now she's in bed with a naked man and doesn't know what to do and is scared to death. Men, the same. They don't know what to do. I mean, I know what they want to do, but they don't know anything about trying to be romantic and foreplay and building up, their wife and things like that. They don't know anything about that because nobody teaches that. So I mean, that is something that's we could go on and on about that, but that's very important. Just leave it at that. That it's just got to be taught. Like I said, I don't care if it's first, second, or third marriage. We've worked with couples that have been all. It doesn't matter. That has to be figured
Think that the
out.
girl, well, it's a whole different society nowadays than it was when we were married. Can you hear me? Then marriage, mothers wouldn't hardly talk to daughters. So you learn from other girls, in school, and they didn't know anything either. So you just, with me, I had to just, well, I loved Don for what I knew love was. I liked being with him. We had a lot of fun together. And when we got married, I didn't know anything about sex. They didn't talk about it, but they do now. And I would suggest anyone's getting ready to get married or dating real to get married, class on sexual needs. If you're embarrassed to go with a mixed crowd, there, I'm sure that Deshonda and Ray could find you someone that would do it because they're great people. Is that okay?
Well, the other thing, though,
Don,
the other thing that I want to add here is, basically we need to meet each other's emotional needs. And for men, everybody knows sexual fulfillment for most men is number one. And number two, they want a playmate, you know. And wives, they want a lot of love and affection.
hmm
And we need to know those things.
excuse
So
me.
that's
Only
what.
thing, excuse, let me say
Go
something.
ahead.
I think that me, I like affection. I like to be told that he loves me. He go out of the room. Hey, babe, I love you. I told you I loved you.
Mhm.
You've seen these cartoons, what he was like. When I quit telling you that if I say I don't love you, you'll know then, or something like that. Well, that was hard because I was raised up in a family was always telling each other, love you, love you, love you. And so that's what I did for him. And he wasn't raised up. It was kind of like this. But him doing that with me and just paying attention to me, telling me he loved me, just touching me, or we were young and kids early in our life, and money was tight, so we didn't go out a lot. But when we'd go to the drive-in theater, that was something else. That would be we could get a 6-pack of beer or something like and take along with you. That'd be like going out and having champagne. But
Well, if you have time for a quick story, I'll tell you something.
well, how much time we got on this one?
So they'll tell us when we're done.
Okay.
So I share this a lot. So one time, during the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, I like to make a potpourri, red wine, cinnamon, and orange peel. It makes a nice aroma. I like it. Doris likes it. It makes the house smell good, especially during the holidays. So I wanted to go get some cinnamon at this Northgate, big Mexican market. And so I said, Doris, you want to go with me? She said, yeah, I'll go. So got there and I went to find my cinnamon and whatever else. And she was watching these women cook. Of course, they were making tamales, tortillas, because there was a big food place there inside the store. And she liked that. She was interacting with the women, having fun, so she enjoyed herself. And then we went over to the beach and went for a walk on the beach. And then on the way home, we stopped by this small Mexican restaurant, and the only one in was the owner. And so we got a lot of one-on-one with her because we were the only people there. And we were talking about all of our travels in Mexico because Doris and I have traveled Mexico quite a bit. And she really enjoyed that. And so when we got home, she's ready to take her clothes off. because she feels loved,
Yeah. We had a
you
great
know, and
time.
it's just like, you know, we have this love bank, that Dr. Gary Chapman talks about, these 5 love languages. Well, hers was full and overflowing, you know. So those are all important things, you know. You know, you so you just you need to make your wife feel loved, and of course, she needs to make you feel loved.
Well, ladies, you have to also make your husband feel loved so he's ready to come home, where he's going to get home but rush. And I always try to even, though I didn't know a lot, but I always would have dinner with him. He might not get home to 7:30 or 8 at night. But that's before microwaves, and you'd leave it out and then you stick it in the oven to warm it up or something. And the kids would be getting ready to put them to bed, when he'd come in. But he liked me sitting there with him, even though I'd have been there watching TV, tired. But I would sit there with him and we'd talk and then watch the news or something. And, if we felt like it, we would have a good time later.
One more story here, and I've shared this before. So I used to work out of town a lot, long before cell phones. So I was headed home, and I called Doris. I had to stop at a payphone. Called her, told I'd be home in an hour. I got home, and the front door of the house was closed. I didn't know why, but I went around to the side door, and I walked in the living room, and there she was on the couch, wrapped up in cellophane with a big red bow. Now, let me tell you, that was 50 years ago, 45, and I still remember that. So
I
you
thought it'd be
see?
funny. I thought it'd be funny.
So those things help. And you know, I shared that story a few times at these marriage classes, and unfortunately, I've seen a lot of men, they're just not getting that. And it's sad. I remember one couple bought a new house and they were giving us a tour, and they had a beautiful jacuzzi bathtub in their master bedroom. No, sharing with me, Doris and I used to have a home in Mexico with a big jacuzzi, and we sometimes Sunday afternoon we'd get in there, bubble bath and champagne, and have a great time. And this guy looks at me and he said, "I wish." That's terrible. That's Christian marriage. See. So anyway, so that is a big problem.